Hello, good morning everyone. Coming at you a little earlier than usual today. And I'm gonna cover, well, first off, I'm Robin Weldy, and I'm gonna cover with you today how to get a flawless base face, or as flawless as possible. I mean, flawless is kind of sounds like perfection, and I'm far from that, but you know, pretty flawless. We'll just do the best we can. So I have already started with my sunscreen and a primer. I've used other primers that kind of pill up under your makeup, but our Touch Glorious primer by Younique is awesome. It doesn't do that. So I said 4 steps. You can count that as a prelude to the 4 steps. Step 1 though is a really good foundation. And today I am using the Mineral Touch Foundation, which is also by Younique. And you do want to shake it up because it is a mineral foundation and it can separate on you. So you just want to make sure that it's shaken and that you clear the dropper so that you have all the best stuff. So I'm just going to give myself foundation pox here. And I just caught that up in little hairs. I got little hairs up here and I just felt it catch. I still feel it. I can't see it, but I can feel it. I guess I'll just have a few more light hairs. The other ones are gray, but that one will be flesh colored, I guess. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this here and there on my face. And then I love the Magic Wand. This is our concealer powder brush by Younique. Absolutely love this brush. It is life-changing. If you don't have one of these, use a beauty blender. Just get it damp, wring it out, and then just pat and pat and pat all over your face, or do a pat and rolling motion like this. It takes a while, but it's gonna give you a really great application. So I'm just gonna kind of spread this out. And then I'm just gonna keep spreading it until I get it spread everywhere, and then I'm gonna just buff it. So I'm still just kind of spreading, and that one hair is gonna drive me crazy. Do you ever get that with one hair that just doesn't wanna play with the rest? It's like, no, I'm a loner. I wanna be down here and straggle by myself. Okay, so now I'm pretty spread out. So now I'm just gonna start my buffing and just make sure that I'm getting that foundation blended and buffed. And if you're using your beauty blender, you won't do this buffing step. And then once I'm pretty sure I've got everything blended and where it needs to be, I'm gonna apply a second coat just in spots where I need the additional help. You know, we all get those spots as we get older. Sunspots, age spots. We should call them beauty spots. I think I'm gonna start calling them beauty spots. And so then I can just switch this. And if you're using your beauty blender, just repeat that step and just go back over wherever you need a little extra help. Just to cover those spots a little bit better. You don't necessarily need a whole second layer all over your face. Make sure you get around your nostrils. And then some of us might have these blue veins on the sides of our head, so that's what I'm trying to kind of cover. Doing a little extra right there. So it's just, I'm putting it on a little thicker in these spots. And then whatever's left on my brush, I'm just kind of going and putting that where my bags are here, my blue marks. I always say I could take down planes with these bags, you know, they kind of have this reflective property. And it's become a joke where some mornings my husband's like, you could take down planes today, or you're taking down planes today. But he only says that because I started it, like I say it. He doesn't care. He loves me. He loves me no matter what, despite my crazy. Okay, so I think I've got that pretty good. So a good foundation is key to a good, flawless base face. It shouldn't really be a surprise. You want to make sure you bring that color down a little bit, because you want your face to look like it belongs on your neck and your body. So, like right now, my face looks a lot wider, I think, than my neck, but by the time I put on my concealer and other things, my face is going to look darker. But our faces and our bodies are not always the same color. So for you, you might need to go darker on your face because your body, because you tan. I don't tan. I don't go in the sun. I eat bottles of vitamin D because I avoid the sun like the plague. Okay, so now I'm going to do my contour. I don't count this as part of my base face. You don't need to contour if you don't want. This is just something, hey Melissa, contour is just something I like to do to add a little bit of structure and to kind of camouflage my jowls and my little loose neck I'm getting. You don't have to do contour if you don't want, but I am not counting contour as part of the base face. So we've still only just done step one, which is the foundation. I'm contouring my nose real quick. And contour is just gonna help, when you put something dark on, it helps things recede. So like my forehead is tall, my chin is long, so I just contour the top and the bottom to try to give the illusion that that's not as long or as tall as it is. And then I contour these little points, these jowls I'm getting that hang down a little. And then you definitely want to bring the color down your neck a little bit. You're creating a shadow. And you want it to all blend. And then I will further blend that out with my powder so it doesn't look so wah. Okay. Now I'm going to do brows real quick. Again, not part of the base face. You know what? I'm going to skip brows for now and continue on the base face because that's why you're cluing in, right? It's not a video if I don't drop something or get something in my eye. So I just dropped the cap. Okay, step number 2, a good concealer. And again, this is our Touch Skin Perfecting Concealer by Younique. But whatever concealer you pick, if it comes out of a tube like this, you want to make sure that with this, you don't need a lot. I mean, you just need the teeniest little bit, and there you go, dropping stuff. This is going to last you for like a year. And then you want to warm it up. That is a key thing. When I first started doing makeup videos, or just doing makeup in general with Younique, I felt like my foundation just wasn't going on, and my finished product wasn't looking like everybody else's. And I felt like my concealer didn't go on like everyone else's. And I didn't know why. Well, I think I'm just not warm enough. You need to warm this up so it gets really nice and liquidy. And then I'm just gonna spread that out. I only like to put it partway on my nose. I don't need to highlight my whole nose because it's pretty long. And then I'm gonna go over those spots again that I did a second layer on. just to make sure I'm getting really good coverage on those spots. Now, some days I feel like my skin drinks it up, and other days I feel like it just wants to sit on top of my skin. And I think that really has to do with how hydrated we are and probably the weather. I'm looking for my cap. 1 minute. Okay, got the cap. I also like to use my little magic wand and a mirror just to make sure I've got everything blended, because my eyes are getting old and I can't always see. Okay. And then if you have any type of crepiness or your skin is a little more laxed or dry, you want to go over that with a dampened beauty blender. So I have my beauty blender. I'm just going to dip it in a cup of water that I have sitting here, and I'm wringing it out. And I dipped it twice. I dipped it, I wring it out. Sorry, phone call. And I'm just going to take that and I'm just going to blot it on wherever I just put that on the concealer, and wherever I feel like my skin is a little more crepey or a little more dry. And you see how I'm doing this tapping, rolling motion? That's the same motion you would want to do for your foundation if you were using a beauty blender. And that's just going to add a little bit more moisture, and it's just going to help to further blend that with your skin so it doesn't look like it's just sitting on top of your skin. Okay. And then that would have been step 2. Step 3 is that you want to use a really good fine setting powder. I really like our powder. Also, it has this mesh in the middle, so when you flip it upside down, it's not going to come out in your bag and just dump everywhere. You can take the mesh out if you like to bake your makeup. I'm just going to dip my brush in there. I want to make sure that this is not really wet from when I just tamped it down with the beauty blender. So I just want to make sure that that feels mostly dry. Oops. So let me smack myself in the face with this thing. Doing that with my left hand, and it's a little heavy. That's not really doing it. I need to use my right hand. Okay. And now I'm just going to stamp this under my eyes. And then I'm just going to blend out that contour a little bit. I still want it to show, and it's going to disappear more when I put my blush on. It's just going to make more sense when I have more color on my whole face. It's all about achieving balance. And then if you feel like you look a little too powdery, just let that sit a little while. And then you can take a tissue and just get the excess off, and it'll help. And then step 4 is getting a really good setting spray. And I love this setting spray, you guys. Love it. If they made a perfume out of this setting spray, I would wear it, because it smells like when you walk into a flower shop or a church, and it's just got that floral essence in the air. It doesn't smell like one particular flower. It's just that sweet aroma of just botanicals and floral smell. It's just so nice, and it's light, and it just smells natural. And so I'm just making sure that my powder is set, because I usually do that later, but I'm kind of accelerating this so you all can see the 4 steps. This is step number 4. So I'm gonna dampen my beauty blender, my big beauty blender. I'm gonna wring it out, I have a cup of water here. I almost said milk. I have a cup of milk here. No, it is water. I just put this in the water and I wrung it out. You guys, I say the wrong words all the time. Like, I'm concerned about myself, and I probably should be. Okay, you know what I did forget? I'm doing everything out of sequence. I forgot the blush. Let's do blush real quick. This is what happens when I don't stick to my normal sequence. Okay, today I'm going to be using this Spirited blush. It looks very berry, but it isn't. There's a lot of gold reflectors in here. And I'm just tamping this on because it can become very pigmented very quickly. So I'm just lightly tamping this on. And I have found that as I've gotten older, the placement of my blush has gotten higher. And that's because I'm trying to keep these like kind of hollows here where I put the contour. And then I'm putting my blush a little bit higher. And so that's all just giving the illusion that my cheekbones are still up where they used to be. And I mean, I still have pretty perky cheeks, I guess. But over time, you know, everything starts to sag and these will become longer. These become more prevalent. So I just focused that color a little higher than I once did. And then I'm just adding a little bit of color to my forehead. And then I like to put it on this part of my nose. I don't know what that's called. The bridge, the tip. I don't know what it's called. It's not really the tip. The tip would be here. I put it here. Again, I'm just trying to break up that long spans on my nose. And it also gives it a little bit more dimension, makes it look a little more ski slopey or whatever. Not that anyone's gonna mistake my nose for a ski slope. Maybe that really long one that they do in the Olympics. Okay, so I like to go a little dark on my blush because then I blend it with my powder again. And I'm just doing a little bit on my eyelids here. All right, so I'm just gonna buff that out again. All right, and I already wet my Beauty Blender. And now I'm gonna spray this setting spray. This is step number 4 to that flawless base face. Because this, I'm just gonna roll it on. I love the smell, love it. And see, it's adding a little bit of a dewy glow back into my skin. So it knocks down that powder look. And it just makes everything look like part of your skin again. Just, you know, younger skin has that natural flexibility and that spring to it. And this just kind of gives that look of that really hydrated, springy look back. I'm even putting it over my lip stain, which I put on before I started. And then if I want, I can even just spray this direct on my face. And oh gosh, I would bathe in this stuff, honestly. Okay, that's 4 steps to base face, you guys. A good foundation, a good concealer, a really good powder, and a really awesome setting spray. And I'm going to continue on and do my eyebrows and a little bit of mascara. And but that's the base face. And if you're interested in any of these products, let me know. I had a couple people recently try the foundation. They'd never tried it before, and they are like in love with it. So that makes me so happy. And there is a 30-day love it guarantee. So if you order anything and you don't like it, just send it back within 30 days. And even if it's after the 30 days, they'll prorate it for you. Pardon me. My nose is watering. Just water. So I'm going to continue here and do my brows. So this is not part of the base face. but it definitely helps frame your face when you have good eyebrows. You know, sometimes the older we get, our brows fall out, or they just don't want to regrow like they used to, or we over pluck them. Or they just get thinner, but mine have gotten longer. I'm starting to get the crazy old man eyebrows where they're like, whoop, but they're thinner. It's fun to discover how we change as we get older, isn't it? It's like just such a fun discovery process. That's me being a little sarcastic. Growing older is definitely a privilege that not everyone gets, so I try to remember that. Aging is a perk. Aging is a blessing. Okay, so it just really helps when you have your brows on and it frames out your face. It just kind of adds something, you know, another dimension to your face. And it can really affect how awake you look, how wide open, how, you know, just pretty much how awake you look. Alrighty, and I wanted to do some mascara. So I am using our Epic Waterproof Mascara, and if you've ever watched my videos, you know that my eyelashes are so stubborn, and they like to aim down, and they don't curl easily, and they don't like to hold curl. But this Epic mascara is so awesome. This waterproof mascara really holds the curl like better than anything I've ever used in my life. And it just really makes them look long. It really lengthens. I don't know how it does it. And it makes them look thicker. This mascara is just, it's like sent from heaven. And pretty much everything I'm showing you today are like the things I can't live without. Like even if I didn't work with Younique and do Younique products, I would still buy these items because they've become my staples, you know, like I don't think I can live without them. Okay, this eye is usually my stubborn eye, and today, for some reason, those lashes curled better than the other ones. I don't understand why some days lashes do one thing and another day they do something else. I don't get it. I'm going to add a little bit of lip bonbon over top of my lip stain. It's a transparent stain, so it's not the color it appears to be. But it really just helps hydrate because lip stain can be a little drying. And over time it'll stay put all day, but it will wear off a little bit more in the middle. And then just applying the lip bonbon on top, it just gives it even that much longer wear. And let me check these lashes. Another thing I really like about this mascara is that if you get any on your eyelid, once it dries, I don't know if all mascaras do this because I didn't learn this trick till after I started wearing Epic. But you just brush it off with a spoolie. Make sure your spoolie's not too sharp because I've made that mistake before. Where the tip of the spoolie just like scratched my skin. You don't want to use the tip, you want to use the bristles where it's a little softer, but you just brush it off and it just flakes right off. Because if you wet a Q-tip, which is what I always did, and then you already put your makeup on, it can just take it off. But if you just scrape it, your eyeshadow stays in place. Okay, I am going to add a little bit of see, I lose words all the time. Anybody else lose the words? Give me a thumbs up down there. Eyelid primer. I am going to put some eyelid primer, just a little bit, on my eyelids. I'm not going to do really a makeup, you know, eye look today. I'm going au naturel. Hi, Nikki. How are you? But I'm just putting that on so my, the natural eyeshadow look I'm going to do just applies really easily. So I'm going to use this fluffy brush. And I'm going to go into this color here, which is called Discreet, and it's very, very similar to my own eye color. And I'm just going to start putting that on. And it barely shows up, but the more I put on, you'll just start to see that peach kind of start to appear there. And it's just adding a little bit of color, a little bit of life to my eyelids. I'm also going to use a brush that's not quite as fluffy. It's a little tighter, and I'm going to, I think I'll go into this peachy color. I haven't used that in quite a while. And I'm just going to tap that off and just start to apply that just above my crease, just to give me a little bit more brightness. Do you see how that's just brightening? And I'm gonna go back with my blending brush and just blend that out, because I want it to just be kind of a hint that it's there. I don't really want people to look at me and think, oh, she's wearing, you know, eye makeup. It just gives me a natural kind of glow above my eyes. And then I like to just do a little bit more on the outer corners, so it kind of gives the illusion that it's drawing my eyes outward. So that's pretty much it for my no makeup look with my Flawless base face. Again, flawless is relative. It's not that I think it's flawless, it's just getting it as good as you can get it for your skin, you know? My skin is not flawless by any stretch, believe me. But I'm just adding a little more color, because this will kind of fade a little bit. As you're putting blush on, you're roughening up your cheeks, so it can actually make them a little more rosy right after you apply your makeup. And again, there's like pretty much nothing on this brush right now. I'm just tapping and building, because you have to go so lightly with these blushes. So that's it for me.